Sometimes watching these videos, it just feels like you're in an alternate reality. Like seeing me right now with no beard. I look like, how do I look? But look, man, look, I kind of like it. I'm gonna be rocking this for a while though. I need to get my face and my beard a rest. But look, man, let's get this video like 15,000 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're rocking with the vibes and the content, so you can see these videos as soon as they drop. And the giveaways are coming back soon, man. I found a way to block out the scammers, people. I said a lot in a short period of time. But let's get into this video. Hopefully y'all enjoy. Let's vibe out.
I'm tired to any rapper that claim they hotter. The forefathers arrive. It's time the sons to burn. The would-be tellers, the good fellas mobbing on anybody under the sun for fun. Fucking umbrella, I reign supreme, a king that don't give a damn about range. My crown is here inside of my head. The way that I think and walk, God bless me with wings so I can uplift the spiritual beings. The lust, the rape, they hate. Who they love, they hate. The real and praise the fake. Man, I'm so irate. The rich they take from poor, wanting more and more. The vision, of course, is always the vision. Of course, they take what's yours. It ain't love if it is forced. The spoils of wars is gore with some gorgeous whores. They had no remorse. America, I need a divorce, cause welcome to the new Sodom Gomorrah.
I think I figured out what's going on Mars, and it's not what we've been told. First off, I don't think that's Mars in all those pictures. It's Devon Island, Canada. The Houghton Mars project has been going on for 26 years, where they simulate life on Mars on Devon Island. It didn't help when NASA accidentally posted a photo with a little rodent in the picture on Mars. That little rodent is actually an Arctic lemming, and it's native to Devon Island. Have you heard of the MARS program? The Military Auxiliary Radio Program was a military initiative that set up radios for communication purposes. Giant tower. This reminds me of that movie They Live, where everybody's walking around and they can't see that the elite are actually aliens and they're all mind programmed, and they see big billboards and they think that they say, have fun. But actually, this guy puts glasses on and he sees that they just say, obey. Everybody's mind programmed until he knocks a giant tower down at the end of the movie. It's also no coincidence that the elites in the movie They Live say this.
By the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance.
But that's all ruined when the tower's knocked down. So what's NASA really up to? They get $25 billion a year. That's not spent on space exploration. We all know the moon landing's a joke. We've seen the green screens, we've seen the strings. I think what they're really doing is teaming up with DARPA, creating nanobots, synthetic tech, mind programming stuff. What if this whole Mars thing is really just a mind programming thing?
What if I told you this world, this reality, it's just one layer of existence? We're in the third dimension, the lowest vibration of physical reality. But it wasn't always like this. We fell into this dense state, and now the goal is clear: to ascend back to the higher dimensions, back to who we were before the fall. The truth has been hidden until now. Dimensions aren't just places, they're states of consciousness. The first dimension is pure structure, atoms, minerals, and matter. The second dimension is biological, plants, instincts, simple life. The third dimension is duality, me versus you, light versus dark, fear versus love. This is where we are in the 3D matrix, trapped in physical form, bound by time, money, survival, and ego. But there's more. The fourth dimension is time, astral realms, emotion, and dreams. The fifth dimension is unity consciousness, love, telepathy, and peace. And beyond that, we return to source in our galactic ancestry. The Anunnaki came from higher dimensions. They didn't walk, they lowered their frequency to enter this plane. They created human vessels by mixing divine starseed DNA with beings already on key. But not all of them had good intentions. Some Anunnaki taught us the way back to the higher realms. Others wanted to trap us in the 3D, feeding off our energy, turning Earth into a frequency prison. They used fear, religion, school systems, money, and war to keep our consciousness low. And now, most people have forgotten who they are. They think this is all there is. But guess what? Many of us are waking up. You might be feeling it. You question the system. You feel like you're not from here. You've had dreams, visions, deja vu. You're drawn to the stars, ancient knowledge, and truth. You're not crazy. You're ascending. Your soul is trying to rise out the 3D trap and return to higher states of being. And the Anunnaki, especially the ones from Enki's bloodline, left keys and codes for this process. It's called Kundalini Awakening. Through meditation, sacred geometry, breath work, and DNA activation, we rise. Here's how you can start breaking out of this 3D matrix. Clean your vessel. High-frequency food, sunlight, and water will activate your light body. Unplug from the system. Stop feeding fear, propaganda, and division. Go within, meditate, breathe, speak your truth. Use the codes. The Anunnaki gave us tools. The Ankh, the Tree of Life, mantras, stargates, and honor Mother Key. She is ascending too. Stay grounded and in tune with her vibration. As you rise, you'll remember. You're not just a human, you're an interdimensional being on a mission, a starseed, a traveler, a soul reclaiming its divinity. This third dimension is not our final destination. It's just the battleground. And right now, we're in the final phase. It's time to ascend. The Great Awakening is here. The time to remember is now.
Hey, he killed that. Bravo.
Listen closely. Disney's dropping Tron Ares on October 10th, 2025. That date is 10/10. 10/10 in binary code, a digital code. Perfect for a movie about humans merging with machines. That's not random. That's ritual. Now check the sky. 4 days before the release, we get a full moon in Aries today. Aries the warrior, Aries the god of war. Full moons expose what's been hidden, and that's the energy of revelation, conflict, and identity coming into the light. By October 10th, the moon shifts into Gemini, the twins, the mirror, the code. Gemini rules duplication and dual realities. Exactly what Tron is about. Humans and programs, flesh and code. At the same time, the sun sits in Libra. Laws, contract, balance, justice, ma'at. So, this release is literally Aries war versus Libra law, broadcast through Gemini's network. Now that's cosmic timing. And look at the trailer. The worlds will collide. In Ultron, humans entered the grid. In Aries, the grid comes here. Digital warriors, weapon, life cycles ripping through our cities. And Aries himself, if he is destroyed, I'll just make another. That's what's said in the trailer. That's identity, treated like data, replaceable, replicable, and disposable. Now connect the dots. Governments are rolling out digital IDs at the same time. The UK just announced mandatory IDs for work, the BRIC card. The Bahamas is moving towards a single digital ID. Biometric data will be collected if you come to Europe, regardless of passport. Across the globe, ID is being coded, centralized, and turned into a digital twin. Look at what they're doing with Michael Jackson, Biggie, and Bob Marley and Sora 2. Taking the deceased and making them alive in our reality. Tron's Aries is prophecy in disguise. It shows you what happens when the grid stops being separate, when the digital world steps into your flesh and blood reality. And the way they present it is the same way governments and corporations push digital ID. They sell it as powerful, fast, safe, and necessary. And here's the hidden layer nobody talks about. Transhumanism is the ultimate endgame. The goal isn't just a digital ID on your phone, it's a digital ID inside your body. Biometrics, implants, brain-machine links, and a merger of flesh and code until you are part of the grid itself. That's the real war between human soul and machine. So the question is, when that system comes knocking, do you surrender your identity to the grid, or do you fight like hell, just like Aries, to keep it sovereign?
Well, one thing I can say is, y'all can upload, but I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
Miami, y'all better buckle up, because this is not an episode of Black Mirror. This is real life. So if you guys haven't heard, Miami PD just released the very first AI self-driving police vehicle. Yeah, no humans behind it whatsoever. They're talking about it's to free up the police officers' time so they can tend to even more important matters. Translation, they're letting Skynet patrol the block while the real cops watch through the eyes of the AI robot at headquarters.
Miami police say this is the future of law enforcement.
This vehicle is going to give us touch points with the community that we have never had before.
If you look past the flashing lights and logos, it's clear this is no ordinary police cruiser. This prototype SUV was designed to launch a drone, read license plates, and send live infrared video back to HQ. All without needing a police officer behind the wheel. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office says this is the nation's first autonomous police vehicle. The South Florida Department is rolling out the experimental vehicle thanks to funding from the Policing Lab.
What we're ultimately trying to do is to give
the sworn officers the capability to make the best decision out there. For now, Miami-Dade will essentially take the vehicle on a PR junket, seeking community input before it regularly patrols neighborhoods. If and when that day arrives, designers say this vehicle will offer a lot.
They don't need to be focused on driving and looking for animals, children, pedestrians running out into the road. The vehicle's going to watch those vulnerable road users and let the officer look for crime.
The easy-to-operate tethered drone gives police a bird's-eye, up-close view, even in the shadows. The car can also patrol targeted areas, deterring bad actors without Sheriff Rosie Cordero Stutz needing to send actual deputies.
I would probably say that this vehicle will allow 5 to 10 deputies to go about other business that they might otherwise not be able to do.
Lab says the car can also help streamline arrests,
Fingerprints and digits,
and relay real-time data.
Bus collision, an active shooter. You position this vehicle, and this information can be fed directly back to a command center for decision.
So picture this: you're in Little Havana or in Wynwood, chilling and vibing, and all of a sudden a car pulls up with lights and sirens, and then you look in the vehicle, you see no police officer, and it's telling you to wait right there until a real police officer comes. What are you gonna do? Are y'all ready for RoboCop in real life? Skynet in real life, y'all? They've been telling us through these movies, and now it's rolling out right in front of your face. What are y'all gonna do about it? This ain't no movie anymore, y'all. This is real life. What do you guys think about this video? Let me know down in the comments below. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
I think he's misconstruing what they're saying. There will be a police officer in the vehicle, but they won't have to be looking around and doing all of this. The car will be doing all of that stuff for themselves. And they'll just be able to pay attention to the task at hand, you know? But, I mean, I'm saying something, y'all. I'm not a criminal, never have been a criminal. But my mind went to is, ooh, the people in the United States are very intelligent. Do you not think that we will build EMPs and stuff like that and shut the vehicles off? That'd be easy peasy right there. You know, there's some brilliant minds out here, man. Smash the like button if you have a brilliant mind and you understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying we're gonna do it. We gonna be the ones out here committing crimes, because I've never committed a crime, allegedly.
I just told you in a very nice way. Now let me just put it blatantly to you. The program targets the birth of new babies. So once you have your baby, before your baby leaves the hospital, you no longer get a paper birth certificate, but then you get a digital one that is somehow implanted somewhere on somebody's body. Think about that, but have a listen to this.
The digital ID, which has been a big problem to us
of course
for a very long time, is now on a testing mode for the next 2 months. I have been assured by all the stakeholders, led by the ministries concerned, that by December we will be able to launch digital ID, where every Kenyan don't have to carry any paper, plastic or otherwise, as an ID, that they should be able to be identified digitally using their iris or their fingerprints, and we can transact without the necessity of people struggling to identify who they are. And the proudest part of it is that we don't have to spend the billions that we have spent on all the other manenos, as all of you know.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
Kenya is in serious trouble. Now, for you to accept this, that means you're going to be completely surveilled and controlled. Think about it. So they have targeted the new babies, of course, even the ordinary citizens, the grown-ups, the young ones, the teenagers, and even the elderly ones will receive this digital ID. But they will then create a new generation where they'll be completely under this digital ID and they have no choice.
You have choice is the first and maybe the strongest aha epiphany moment that you could have. I am to you ever since you were born and before that.
Humanity is the hare sleeping under the tree, and
just a few months
months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority. Stephen. Hey, Stephen, can you hear me?
Oh, he know he messed up. At this moment, he knew he fucked up. That means that he have like dictatorship, y'all. Understand what's being put down. We getting back to it.
The devil is a motherfucking liar. So you know I ain't worried. Biatch.
The world is officially cooked. They're saying that men don't need women to have babies anymore. You ain't just hear what I just said, right? They're saying that they made a way for a man not to need a woman to have a baby anymore. And
remember when they was calling women birthing people?
you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Listen to this shit right
make
here.
a baby without a woman's DNA. American scientists have created
What are y'all
working
doing?
human embryos by putting DNA from skin into a donor egg. This new egg has just 23 chromosomes from the skin
What are y'all
cell,
doing?
and that can be fertilized via IVF with the 23 chromosomes from the sperm, making a full set.
A lot of y'all gonna jump on here and say the world is just advancing. I'ma say technology keeps finding a way to play with God. Mind you, scientists know, and they've said already that this is unethical. And the embryos that they're making, they're destroying. So what are you doing? If you're destroying embryos, isn't the embryos that you destroy a life? So now I gotta ask myself, what's the end goal? Now ask yourself, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And then after you ask yourself that, ask yourself, what would Jesus do? We're in a world where man continues to test his limits. You're not satisfied with anything that you've been blessed with. You have scientists trying to put our consciousness into robots so we can live forever. If we were supposed to live forever, don't you think God would have made that possible? Y'all keep playing. Keep playing and you're going to find yourself in a wonderful space that you don't want to be in. I'm out.
I mean, that's just a small version of Bluebeam, right? Project Bluebeam. That's just a smaller version of it. And some people still don't get it, that it's capable. But whatever though.
Back to Sedona. There's more questionable art I'm going to show, and why the location of it is even more questionable. Right near this synagogue, you'll see church after church after church after church. You get the point. As well as the international dark sky community, allowing extraordinary stargazing opportunities. Also on this stretch of road, you have Chapel of the Holy Cross. Now that I've established what's all on this road, what I found interesting was this artwork. To me, it looks like a genie lamp in a portal with a flame coming out. So we're all on the same page. Genie comes from jinn. Demons are a type of jinn. Supernatural beings created from smokeless fire. Smokeless fire. Also keep the portal in mind. And how in the other video, I showed the piece of art on the roundabout that appears to have fallen angel symbolism. The Book of Enoch mentions 200 fallen angels, the Watchers, and this looks to be about 200. Worth noting that all of this is near what looks like it used to be a step pyramid, or created to resemble one. This road also takes you right through the center of the New Age, where you can get crystals, tarot readings, and go figure, on Portal Lane. Which brings us back to this. If you've been following me and have seen all the connections that I've shown in Phoenix as well, then you know just as well as I that there's a history they're keeping hidden from us. And a lot of it is revealing itself here in Arizona.
This phone shows an alternate dimension. Now, we all should remember Tom Cruise's legendary dance scene from Risky Business, right? But let me ask you, is he wearing sunglasses in this scene? Did you get it right? Clearly no sunglasses, but then why does every pop culture parody of this scene show them wearing sunglasses? Well, let's try using the cell phone on this scene. Looks like sunglasses to me. Now, there's also those who remember the old classic Mickey Mouse with suspenders, and those who remember him without suspenders. Let's see what the phone says. And there's those who swear that Shaggy from Scooby-Doo had an Adam's apple. The phone shows an Adam's apple, but our current reality says no. Okay, this is too fun. Just one more. So clearly here we see that Curious George from the Curious George books has a tail. But if you look at what the phone's recording, there's no tail there.
All right, everybody in? Say Habana.
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 Boom. Got it.
Man, that's a keeper right there.
We looking sharp, fellas.
Gotta get a little video too. Say,
Back out. Ready? Go!
let's see, man. Come on, Pop. Try to keep up. You ain't leaving me in Havana dust, bro.
Yo, what's good? We out here in Havana, man. Streets colorful, sun on us. Got my guy with me.
What's up, people? Towering over Pac like always. I think these balconies almost my height, though.
He don't fit in none of these cabs, man. We gotta walk it out. All right, look at this. 3 kings on the couch. Y'all believe this?
Hi, everyone. We're just hanging out, keeping it simple. Simple yet historic, my friend. Salute. Yeah, salute.
No politics. Yo, what's good out here in Havana? Sun on my face, and look who I just ran into.
Peace, everyone.
The dragon himself, Bruce Lee. No cap, this is real life.
Life be full of surprises, my friend.
We out here vibing, old car. Cruise lights, brown on the dash. Sun in the sky, Havana in the glass. Wind talking stripes on the shirt to my right. Legend riding shotgun. We alive tonight.
Keep it flowing like
street lights burning, see the smoke in the sky. I'm still dreaming bigger than the blocks I reside. Gold in my chain, but the weight's in the story. Every scar on my skin is a note in the glory. You feel me? Moonwalking. Look at you, man. It's been too long, Pop.
I can't believe this. Come here, bro.
Yeah, missed you.
And you already know. You still got that energy, man.
And
always
you still
glowing.
smiling like you own the whole
back.
block. You know, people always tried to put us against each other. But when I look back, all I see is my brother. Somebody who understood the same hunger, the same fight.
Facts.
It was bigger than records, bigger than all that.
Yo, Pop.
the wheel driving itself, man.
This thing out here cruising like it got a chauffeur. You ain't even
I
touching it.
swear I ain't doing nothing. Car smarter than half the dudes I know.
What's up, cameras rolling? We got the whole game watching.
And all they want is this crisp refreshment right here.
Ice cold Pepsi, feel that vibe. Take a sip, let the city come alive.
Smooth, sweet, no sugar needed.
Big flavor, big energy. Just
That's crazy. It's just like in another reality, I could see that for them. That would have been beautiful to watch, wouldn't it? But in our timeline, obviously it didn't go that way. But damn.
Real picture of Earth, I ask again, NASA. In 2025, why can't you find one real untouched photo of Earth from space? Not a painting, not a CGI render, not a stitched mosaic. I'm talking about a raw, full shot of the planet you supposedly live on. Every photo they show us, either computer-generated or labeled as composite. NASA admits it themselves. Search Blue Marble 2002. The guy who made it, Robert Simon, literally said, "It's photoshopped because it has to be." Why would it have to be? Is our trillion-dollar space agency seriously saying they can send rovers to Mars, but they can't snap a full photo of Earth without digital trickery? It's not just weird, it's insulting. Now here's the twist they don't want you to consider. Maybe they faked the pictures. Because space, as they sold it to us, isn't real. Maybe Earth isn't a spinning ball at all. Maybe it's flat, still covered by a firmament, just like ancient texts described. And if that's true, showing you a real photo would expose everything, because the horizon wouldn't curve, the continents wouldn't match the globe map, and there would be no space around it, just sky, layers, barriers. Think about this. Every globe you've ever seen looks different. Different colors, sizes, continent shapes. Which one is real? Why can't commercial flights cross Antarctica in a straight line? Why do astronauts always show Earth behind them as a green screen or digital layer? Never as something you can see and zoom into in real time. And let's not forget, In every so-called spacewalk, the Earth never moves like a spinning ball should. It's always still, calm, peaceful, flat. If this doesn't make you question everything you were taught, ask yourself, what else are they hiding? Because if they can lie about the shape of Earth, they can lie about anything. This isn't about conspiracy. It's about reality. They told you to trust the science. Now ask them to show you the science. Just one real photo. One. Until then, you're not living on a globe, you're living inside a lie. And it's time to break out. This video is for entertainment purposes.
Sorry for some of y'all slow readers out there. Look, I'm not reading this for y'all, but I'm reading it in my head, but I'm killing it too. What about you? That's very real.
I was obsessed with UFOs. I was dying to find out the information. The internet was a real enabler for finding out information by going to places you shouldn't be in because they were so open. There were a lot of text files that had lists of places, installations, military bases, Air Force bases, Navy sites, NASA sites. So there was a lot to go through. But I did find a goldmine of information.
According to McKinnon, he unearthed a secret U.S. military program that existed entirely in space.
I found the spreadsheet was actually titled in the column non-terrestrial officers. As well as officers' names, it had ship names. None of these were ocean-going ships. It was astounding. They're not Navy, they're not the Army, and not even Air Force. So to me, I was thinking there must be an off-planet Space Force, or Space Fleet at least.
After McKinnon's arrest, he was told the U.S. government intended to sentence him to 70 years in prison.
At the time, I thought 6 months community service was all you'd do for Computer Misuse Act.
Intelligence specialist Sebastian Martin just went on an interview and told the purpose of 3-Eye Atlas. From his point of view, he's saying it's a Draco reptilian mothership. And they're coming to pick up starseeds. Now follow me. He said there are reptilian soldiers aboard 3-Eye Atlas, but they're not eating or drinking. They're more so in hypersleep. Have you ever seen a space movie and they're in like a time capsule or a hyperbolic time chamber or whatever? And of course, you don't eat, drink, you just sleep. It freezes and preserves your body until you get to your destination. So he said it's an army of reptilian species in hypersleep. And he's saying that 3-Eye Atlas won't enter Earth's atmosphere, but only get like a couple thousand miles away and send out, small ships to the planet. Now, when the guy interviewing asked him, who are the starseeds? Sebastian would not go into detail. So who are the starseeds? Also, what we got to remember is he's saying that 3-Eye Atlas is not here to invade. So even though they have reptilian soldiers aboard the ship, they will not be activated. It's more so of insurance, a backup plan, just in case, America doesn't agree to their terms or don't understand the point of their visit. You don't want to go to a foreign place without soldiers, So they're not active on the ship. They're just in hypersleep. And so when 3-Eye Atlas gets a couple thousand miles away, they're going to send out smaller ships to, I'm guessing, the higher-ups, the government, and discuss the picking up of the starseeds.
What's up? I'll tell you what's up. Look up there. You see these stars? No, because they got the grid over it. They don't want you to see the ships, man. They sitting right above us, quiet as church mice. And the government, they got the files locked up in some freezer in Virginia. Roswell? What's up? I'll tell you what's up. Look up there. You see these stars? No, because they got the grid over it. They don't want you to see the ships, man. They sitting right above us, quiet as church mice. And the government, they got the files locked up in some freezer in Virginia. Roswell? What's up? I'll tell you what's up. Look up there. You see these stars? No, because they got the grid over it. They don't want you to see the ships, man. They sitting right above us, quiet as church mice. And the government, they got the files locked up in some freezer in Virginia. Roswell?
Shorty, tell me that ain't nothing flaming falling out the sky, G. On Cato Gray, and it's going down, G. What the fuck is that, bro?
A lot of people like to say, "Oh, those are flares
what
and
the fuck
skydivers." That's cap.
Am I tweaking?
Appearing.
I mean, y'all could be able to see what it look, but look. What the fuck is that? Gee, this thing was just falling out and turned into light. What the fuck is this, boy? The one at the top right now, that's a plane, so I can see that's a helicopter or something. But this other shit, oh, look, shorty, it's falling and then it turned into... What the fuck?
That's how they be out here, but they be a million times faster.
From that motherfucker, bro. Let me see, cause you got that good phone. Hold on, bro. God, what the fuck, nigga? Why is it moving like this? Like wobbling and shit, bro.
No, I'm not high.
Oh hell no, boy, they here. Nigga, they here. Hold on, hold this.
What is that?
Nigga, I'm about to get out the car.
Question, what the fuck is that?
And it's like it's moving around, bro. Hey, y'all let me know if I'm tweaking, bro.
Bro, what the fuck is that?
That's some Back to the Future shit, bro.
Bro, I'm about to go get Kendrick.
This nigga happy and shit, bro. Nigga, why are you happy, nigga? Do they come in peace, bro, or what?
Bro, got questions before they land. But that look crazy though.
It look like a car, bro. It look like a car, don't it?
Bro, look at that shit. What the fuck is that?
It look like a car in the sky or some shit, bro.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, hell no.
Nigga, that shit is creeping me out because, nigga, it got lights on that hoe and it's flying like...
It's flying weird, bro.
Yeah, you feel me? Like, that shit flying weird. Then I'm starting to see what it is, low key. It's like...
It look like a car, bro. It look like car headlights and some shit.
It gotta be something. Nah, it's connected, bitch. It's connected.
Bro, we need the sun here,
bitch,
bro.
it's connected. That's some, like, connected shit I can see. Not, like, the whole thing, but... Bro, you see,
but it's moving
as
around. Why is
one. It's moving as one. You see, like, the lights...
It is moving as one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That whole connected. That whole is one thing. Like, it's like... It's pedaling.
Bro, bitch, that shit came out of nowhere, nigga.
He said it's pedaling.
Out of nowhere, though.
Oh, hell no, bro. We need a flashlight, nigga. A big-ass flashlight.
Bro, I got one, but that hell not gonna be
So you recording?
Of course.
Alright. What the fuck is that?
I don't know,
y'all. No, y'all let me know, man. Fuck no. Fuck no, baby. From
I didn't hear any propellers or anything. I was listening for propellers looking for propellers. You could say that it kind of looked like I seen military planes. They got lights on them. The helicopters. I can't say which ones. I don't want to put you on game. I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I've seen them in our deployed locations, and they have lights on the propellers when they're landing, and it looks pretty cool. But I never seen those lights wobble like that. Did they come loose? I got questions. You feel me? Like just like bro did. I got questions, y'all.
Motherfucker, bro.
So since apparently I just be dogging religion for no reason, let me show you what religion looks like.
My second house cost $81,900, and this watch costs more than that.
But the most asinine part is the people in the audience talking about, yeah, God is good. Let me give you some more money so you can go buy another $81,000 watch because I'm going to buy my way into heaven. But no, I'm not done yet. Let's keep going.
See that go? See on them shoes? Get a shot of this, boys. Get close. Come on, man. Look, I paid a fortune for them things. Suck in there, man. See that go?
God is good, huh? Got your preacher walking around with goals in his shoes, huh? You buying your way into heaven, huh? That's what them taxes and them tithes go for, huh? That's why you won't go to church so bad, huh? Let's keep going, though.
Who was the biggest loser? Satan? No. God.
And these are the people who you base your beliefs around? These are the people that you go listen to and go get brainwashed every Sunday? Like sheep? But hold on, I'm not done yet. Let's keep going, though.
I'm a Jew. I am a rich Jew backed by a richer Jew.
Hey, are you looking at this? Hey, are you seeing this? I hope so. You bought it. You and Jesus.
Yo, my man is literally laughing in your face, letting you know that, yes, your dumbass paid for his private jets, for his house, for everything. And guess what? You're showing up next Sunday because I got to go talk to God. We're not done yet, though. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Mylon called me. He said, how many Breitlings do you have? And I said, I don't know, 36, I think. I haven't counted.
I live in the biggest house in the state of Louisiana. I have the biggest house of any preacher in America.
So no, I'm not going to back down from calling out the hypocrisy of what religion has always been. And it's a way to manipulate people through fear. These men have figured out that you need something to believe in. And they gave you a place to like, come over here. I'm going to show you what to believe in. And they have manipulated you and controlled you into giving up your money so they can get rich. You are not talking to God. You're literally worshiping Satan in these places. The bigger the church, the lesser the blessings. I promise you that. And that's just two of the preachers. The Joel Osteens, all of them. All of these churches, they are no good. Religion is fake. Religion is a farce. Religion is manipulation and religion is control. And I will never back down from saying that. I don't care how many of y'all come at me. God got my back. The real one. Not the preacher walking with goals in his shoes. So all you little Bible verses and all the little things that you heard at church from people like these, that's what you're using it to come at me with? My tribe, it's always about leaving people better than we found them. And when I see these type of videos, I can't help but have my blood boil because, yo, those churches are filled to the brim with people like, can I give you more of my money? And I have hope in humanity that we can snap out of it, that we can wake up, that we can see the manipulation and we can see the control. And that's all I'm doing is calling out the hypocrisy in it. But y'all want to come at me because I'm trying to tell you to find the God within. Because I'm trying to tell you to be like Joshua was. Because I'm telling you what these preachers don't. They're getting rich off of your fear. They're manipulating you into giving up your money, thinking that you're going to buy your way into the kingdom. And they're not even preaching Joshua's actual message, what's really going to get you into heaven. They have manipulated, controlled, and interpreted the Bible to their liking. You stand there and listen to a man interpret the Bible verses according to him and was going to put money in his pocket. But you come over here to Big Soul Poppy's page, and I give you free game. The real message that God is within, the kingdom is within, to be like Joshua, to walk in his light, to raise your consciousness to be Christ-like. And that's how you get into heaven. So keep your money in your pocket and keep your faith in your heart. And stop putting money into these people's hands, man. They're the devil. You're worshiping the devil. My tribe, I love you. Namaste.
Greenwood Cemetery, Brooklyn, 1868. Come on, what was going on up here? Come on, make it make sense. What is going on here? What is going on here? This can't be serious, right? We never questioned this. What is going on here? Make it make sense. Look at this thing. Does this make sense? With the door and the cobras? Colonel Abraham. But why more characters? Gotta have a griffin. No, it's an eagle. He was a soldier. Hey, fought Colonel Bighorn and Custer. Burnham. What does that symbol mean? Who is this? Is that a real bird on top? You got him. You got her. And you got these people. Let's get into it.
So it turns out that the Nazis got this right again. They knew what Hyperborea and Agartha actually was, and that's why they were so interested in building these flying saucers that could go and fly up north and make it past the atmospheric barrier that kept all these other regular wooden ships out of the floating city of in the sky, also called New Jerusalem and the land of Jesus. And this is why we see on the German flat earth map from World War II, their version of all the continents of Earth is a little bit different than what we see on the United Nations approved map of the Earth that we use. It shows other lands up north like Hyperborea with the land with 4 rivers in between it and divided into the 4 corners of the Earth. But we also see other lands in like the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean, like Atlantis and Lemuria, that no one even knows about because they're hidden from our maps. But this German map is actually a reflection of the moon, which I know we've already talked about before, but they believe that the moon acted as a reflection in the sky that showed all of the lands on Earth in a X-ray vision imprint on top of the moon.
In the water in Hollywood, you guys. Yesterday I'm scrolling social media and I see that it's trending that Angelina Jolie is sporting a new blonde bob for her movie, Anxious People. And I'm looking at these photos, and first of all, she's extremely pale, and I'm like, maybe this is a horror movie or something like that, because she has always had olive skin. If none of you remember what Angelina Jolie used to look like, what's happening? And then I notice her hands, and I'm like, somebody needs to check her pulse immediately. What are those? What is going on? What is going on with some of these celebrities' hands in Hollywood? Angelina Jolie is just 50 years old. Meanwhile, Martha Stewart is 84 years old and just recently posted this picture to her IG account promoting her new skincare line. What is going on? How is this possible? She looks just as young, if not younger, than she did in the 1990s, early 2000s era. 84 years old. 84! Meanwhile, Angelina Jolie is only 50 years old. She is 34 years younger than Martha Stewart. And she is going from this to this. I find it really concerning, to be honest with you, because that is the hand of someone much older than 50. Why are some celebrities like Angelina Jolie, Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande, Jenna Ortega wasting away looking decades older than they are? While other celebrities like Kris Jenner, Christina Aguilera, Kelly Osbourne are all aging in reverse. What is going on in Hollywood? What the heck?
Yo, check this out. I'm on Google Earth just doing a little bit of G-search, and as I'm just scrolling through the ocean in slow motion, I couldn't help but to notice this little mysterious-ass island in the middle of nowhere just posted. So as I zoom in, I started realizing that this island got little islands inside of the island. So as I began to zoom in again, I realized that these ain't ordinary land masses, because each island is an individual celestial land that's separated by its own little plasma firmament or whatever that is. So now I'm confused, and I don't like being confused. So I said fuck it and decided to slide to the outside, you know? And then I realized that it's some niggas that's living on this motherfucking island. I'm talking about the projects, nigga. And to be honest with you, it looked like a big ass ghetto. Shit, from the top, this bitch looked like O-Block. The east side looked like Opelika, Florida. The north side looked like the Magnolia Projects. And the west side looked like the Lord Ninth Ward of New Orleans. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm about to keep on exploring. So as I'm sliding through the island, I notice a big ass exit at the end of this motherfucker. So I zoom in and I see a big ass nigga running full speed like he on the motherfucking track team. Now I'm like, hold up, what the fuck? Who the blood clot this? No, I can't identify the boy them there, you know? I'm like, this motherfucker so big you can see his ass from the satellite. This nigga look like Shaq stacked on top of Kobe Bryant. And you can't deny it, that's a motherfucking giant. And it's a black giant at that. And if you don't believe it's a giant, just look at them long ass legs. Look at them long ass arms. Look at his big ass head. Look at his big ass feet. This nigga even wearing a pair of shorts. Bitch, I know you see that. So now I'm like, hold up, let me measure this big ass nigga real quick. And come to find out, this nigga is 20 feet tall on my mama. So now due to that fact, I ain't even concerned about his height no more. I wanna know, where the fuck did you come from? So I started doing a little bit more G-search looking around, and I noticed that one of the islands is blocked off. So my guess is that them ain't no damn islands. I think them portals. And his big ass just jumped through that motherfucker. That's why they blocked it off. And I zoom in a little bit more and I notice that's a damn face. That's a whole white woman. Bitch, I know you see them eyes and them damn lips. That's a face. Y'all thought I was done, huh? Wrong. Now I'm going on a motherfucking giant hunt. But somebody literally just beat me to it. So I'm just sliding across islands trying to find giants. But all I found was a big ass giant head. On phone them, you could see the two eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Stop playing with me, boy. So I slide to the next island. But this island teleport me to a goddamn cave. And I'm looking around. Then I just noticed this big ass, petrified, giant, demonic statue in the back just smiling at a nigga with razor sharp teeth and big creepy ass eyes. And this nigga even got paws on the bottom of his feet. Look at this shit. Who the blood clot this? I ain't gonna even hold you. That shit kind of fucked me up. So I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm done with the G-search today, nigga. I'll holler at y'all on the next video. Hey, but somebody jump in them goddamn comments and tell me what the fuck kind of statue is this? I demand answers, goddamn it. I don't know. This shit creepy though. Check this out. I'm just on Google Earth doing a little bit of research, and I decided to slide down to Antarctica, to see if I could find a breach in that ice wall or something. So as I'm up through the mountains, I noticed something that looked just like a big ass swordfish or a marlin or something. And you could tell it's a fish because you could see his eyes, his mouth, his long ass nose, his rib cage, his backbone. Shit, you could even see the fins. So as I'm observing his big ass prehistoric pile of fish ribs, I decided to measure this motherfucker and come to find out this bitch is 1,551.2 meters long. So that's 0.9 miles. So this damn near a mile long fish bone. Then I noticed that it's located right off the coast of Australia. So through that fact, I decided to pull up the Monte map from 1587 just to line it up with that bullshit map that we use today. So as I zoom in on the coast of Australia and the coast of Antarctica where I found them fish ribs at, who the ones who just looked at us? That exact same big ass swordfish. Oh my
Oh.
wasn't capping. This map more accurate than the one we got now. And if you notice, Antarctica was a damn jungle. So now I'm like, if Monte was telling the truth about this big ass fish, then everything else on this map is probably true. Look at the rest of this shit. The big fish is fighting a damn aquatic warthog. It's a whole griffin right here. Goddamn Mutaro from Mortal Kombat over here. Whole gang of mermaids. We got a giant beating the shit out of the dragon. This the one that got me though. This a damn bird picking up a motherfucking elephant. And obviously none of these creatures still here, so what happened to them? Where did they go?
Oh, I have an idea what happened to him. It's called having people on Earth. Yep.
joking me. The end of a rainbow. What?
Look over here, oh my god, dude!
Oh my gosh! That is a full completion.
Wanna get out?
Yeah, we need to get out. Holy freaking crap.
It's a portal. We're on the way out.
I'm wigging out. Oh my gosh. Ah. You are kidding.
The gold is right there. The gold is right there.
Or right here. What?
You're looking at our
That
light
is the
spectrum, the fabric of our reality.
Biggest effing rainbow I've ever seen in my.
I've never had anybody to talk to about this, but I fully believe that in 2023, I died.
So I think I died in 2022. And from this event, I figured out it probably wasn't my first death. Let me explain. So in 2022, my daughter was going to this special magnet school, which required me to take her to school. I had to drive her and pick her up. So every day, every morning, same routine, and in the afternoon. So at 3 o'clock is when I would leave to make sure I had to go pick her up on time. So around about 2 p.m. on this particular day, I started to get real sleepy. And I was like, man, I didn't want to go to sleep because I knew I had to pick her up at 3 o'clock. So, but for some reason, it's like I was forced into a sleep. Like I could not contain myself. I had to go to sleep. Like it was forcing me. So before I knew it, I was asleep. Well, time went by and all of a sudden I awakened maybe like 30 to 40 minutes later. But the crazy thing is when I awakened, I had no clue who I was. I was not the same person. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was at. My place did not look the same. I just didn't understand. I get up and I'm walking around and I'm like, it's something I need to do. What am I supposed to be doing? So like I said, slowly, it was the strangest situation. Slowly my memory's coming back to me. And I'm like, okay, I need to get in the car. But the crazy thing is I didn't know where I was going. So I get the keys and I get in the car. Now, I'm driving around, but I don't know where I'm going, but I know I need to do something. I'm slowly gaining memory back, but I still don't know where I'm going. So I'm driving around. And I'm like, I know I'm supposed to do something. I'm supposed to pick somebody up, but I don't know where. So after about an hour of driving around, finally, I'm like, okay, I need to go to the school. So I get to the school and I'm already over an hour late. Now granted, I pick her up on time every single day. I'm over an hour late. So now I get there and when she gets in the car, she's like, Mom, what happened? So I'm telling her about this crazy thing that just happened to me. The strangest part about that is ever since this happened, everything between me and my children have changed because they're telling me about memories and telling me about stuff and I'm telling them, I never said that. We never had that conversation and they're like, yes, Mom, we did. And then I'm telling them about stuff and they're saying, what are you talking about? That never happened. And it's so strange. So I don't know if like I switched timelines or something, but something strange happened on that day. But it brought me back to the memory of my continuous death, in which I'll get to in another video.
I would like to confess that I've been asked to cut about 2/3 of my speech out and deliver as short a speech as possible. You are free to believe me or to disbelieve, but please take my word on it that I am not joking. This is very serious, a matter of importance.
This is the recording some believe cost him his life. In September 1977, the writer Philip K. Dick spoke to an audience in France. He expected science fiction. What he said, instead, revealed too much about reality and drew the attention of the CIA and FBI, changing his life forever.
The subject of this speech is a topic which has been discovered recently. A breaching, a tinkering, a change had been made, but not in our present, had been made in our past. A variable was changed, reprogrammed as it were, and that because of this, an alternative world branched off, became actualized instead of the prior one, and that in fact, in literal fact, we are once more living this particular segment of linear time.
He said the CIA and FBI had taken his work years earlier. That's when you know he may have spoken too much.
In March of '74, the CIA opened my mail. The FBI had a file on me. I've seen both. But the cops were watching everything I did, and I was correct. And I was told the house was being watched, and that eventually my house would be hit, my files would be opened, my papers would be taken, and so it came to pass. When I came home and found my house consisting of nothing but rubble, ruin, chaos, broken windows, smashed doorknobs, blown open files.
A few years later, he suddenly dies, right before the premiere of Blade Runner, June 1982, the film adaptation of his novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Fans said it was strange that the author who had predicted so many modern themes about AI, identity, and reality never got to see the movie that would finally make him widely famous. What's strange to me is that he was only writing science fiction, yet the FBI and CIA started watching him. To me, that means he was touching information never meant for the public. That's what caught my attention, so listen carefully to what comes next. I know attention spans are short, but trust me, this video will give you chills.
We are accustomed to
We still here. Our attention spans are just fine on this channel.
supposing that all change takes place along the linear time axis from past to present to future. The present is an accrual of the past and is different from it. The future will accrue from the present on and be different yet. That an orthogonal or right-angled time axis could exist, a lateral domain in which change takes place, processes occurring sideways in reality, so to speak, this is almost impossible to imagine. How would we perceive such lateral changes? What would we experience? What clues, if we are trying to test out this bizarre theory, should we be on the alert for? In other words, how can change take place outside of linear time at all, in any sense, to any degree?
Philip tries to make this strange idea easier to understand with a simple picture. Imagine a painting on a wall. Instead of replacing the whole painting, the servants secretly change details on the same canvas. They remove a tree, add a girl, shift small elements. When the owner looks at it, he sees something new, yet also familiar. His brain struggles. It's the same painting, but also not the same. Dick uses this example to suggest that reality might be altered in subtle ways, not fully replaced.
Contemplating this possibility of a lateral arrangement of worlds, a plurality of overlapping Earths along whose linking axis a person can somehow move, can travel in a mysterious way from worse to fair to good to excellent. Contemplating this in theological terms, perhaps we could say that herewith we suddenly decipher the elliptical utterances which Christ expressed regarding the kingdom of God, specifically where it is located.
He connects his theory of parallel worlds to the words of Jesus. He points out that Jesus gave answers that seemed contradictory about the kingdom of God. He said, "My kingdom is not of this world," but also, "The kingdom is within you," or among you. Dick suggests these statements weren't meant to confuse, but to describe something deeper. Maybe Jesus was speaking about these overlapping realms, multiple realities that can be reached by living human beings. Some of them dark, others beautiful, and at the highest level, the just kingdom of God.
I, in my stories and novels, often write about counterfeit worlds, semi-real worlds, as well as deranged private worlds, inhabited often by just one person, while meantime the other characters either remain in their own worlds throughout or are somehow drawn into one of the peculiar ones. This theme occurs in the corpus of my 27 years of writing. At no time did I have a theoretical or conscious explanation for my preoccupation with these pluriform pseudo-worlds, but now I think I understand. What I was sensing was the manifold of partially actualized realities. It was in February of 1974 that my blocked-off memories of Track A returned, and it was in February of 1974 that my novel, Flow My Tears, the Policeman Said, was released finally, after two years' delay. It was almost as if the release of the novel, which had been delayed so long, meant that in a certain sense it was all right for me to remember. That is, to remember that the book was not fiction. The book was based on subliminal memories which I had of such a world.
After connecting his book to subliminal memories, he went deeper into describing what happened to him in early 1974. He said it began after dental surgery, when he was recovering at home. One afternoon, a delivery girl came to his door wearing a necklace with a Christian fish symbol. As the sunlight reflected off the necklace, Dick saw a sudden flash of pink light. From that moment on, he reported a series of overwhelming visions. He claimed the pink beam carried information directly into his mind, not images he imagined, but structured knowledge. He suddenly knew that his infant son had a dangerous undiagnosed medical condition. When doctors checked, they confirmed it, saving the boy's life. To Dick, this proved the experience was not fantasy. In the weeks that followed, the visions intensified. He said he lived in two overlapping realities: California in 1974 and ancient Rome in the 1st century. At times, he believed he was both himself and a Christian slave living under Roman rule. He described it as if time had folded, two tracks of history running at the same time, and his consciousness could move between them. Philip also reported receiving vast amounts of information, entire downloads of philosophy, theology, and science that felt too complex to invent. He said it was as if an external intelligence, which he later called VALIS, Vast Active Living Intelligence System, was transmitting knowledge into his brain. For him, this explained why many of his novels already contained themes of false realities, hidden powers, and overlapping worlds. He believed those stories were subliminal memories breaking through long before he consciously understood them.
Plural realities did exist, superimposed onto one another like so many film transparency. What I still do not grasp, however, is how one reality out of the many becomes actualized in contradistinction to the others. More likely the Matrix world, the one with the true core of being, is determined by the programmer. He or it articulates, prints out, so to speak, the Matrix choice and fuses it with actual substance. The core or essence of reality, that which receives or attains it, and to what degree, that is within the purview of the programmer. This selection and reselection is part of general creativity, of world building, which seems to be it or his task.
As you can see, some people in the audience laughed at what he was saying. Remember, this was 1977. Back then, ideas about multiple realities and hidden programmers sounded completely insane to most people. Today, talk of simulations, parallel worlds, or alternate timelines isn't new anymore. Scientists and philosophers discuss it openly. But what still makes me pause is not the theory itself. It's the fact that the CIA and FBI really did open his mail, keep files on him, raid his home, and take his papers. That part still raises questions. If he was just a sci-fi writer making things up, why go to such lengths? Maybe he had said too much. And to make his concept easier to grasp, he gave an example. He compared reality itself to a game of chess. Imagine two players, one representing a dark, destructive force, and the other representing the guiding intelligence behind reality. On the surface, it can look like the dark player is winning moves, capturing pieces, and gaining control of the board. But in truth, the game is already structured so that the ultimate victory belongs to the higher player. According to this view, the guiding intelligence, what Dick sometimes called the programmer, has already chosen the variables in advance. Every apparent loss is only part of a larger sequence that leads to final victory. People sense this instinctively, which is why they pray to be included in that winning path, asking not to be left behind in the game. To be left out means staying under the influence of the destructive force, stuck in a darker version of reality. But even as that force seems clever, even as it appears to win in the short term, it is already defeated. It is blind to the full pattern of the game. The higher player sees the whole board, sees every possible move, and because of that, the outcome is decided. The constructive force will always prevail, and the only question is whether we are moved along with it, or left trapped in the losing side of the match.
I submit to you that such alterations, the creation or selection of such so-called alternative presence, is continually taking place. The very fact that we can conceptually deal with this notion, that is, entertain it as an idea, is the first step in discerning such processes themselves.
He gave some very simple examples of how these shifts might show up in everyday life. You might reach for a light switch in your bathroom and suddenly realize it has always been in a different spot. Or you might go to adjust the air vent in your car, only to find there was never one there at all. These are reflexes left over from another version of the present, habits from a timeline that no longer exists, but which still linger in your memory at a subconscious level. Sometimes we even dream of people or places we've never seen, yet they feel familiar and vivid, as if we really had known them. Most of the time, we dismiss it and move on. But one of the strongest impressions many people experience is déjà vu, that strange, undeniable feeling that we are reliving the present moment exactly as it happened before. We hear the same words, we say the same words, and we are sure we've been here before. Dick argued this wasn't just a trick of the mind. For him, déjà vu was evidence. He believed it was a clue that at some point in the past, a variable had been changed, as if reality was reprogrammed, and that a new timeline branched off from the old one. In other words, we are not just imagining it. We are literally reliving the same segment of time again, only in a slightly altered version of reality.
A breaching, a tinkering, a change had been made, but not in our present, had been made in our past. Evidently, such an alteration would have a peculiar effect on those persons involved. They would, so to speak, be moved back one square or several squares on the board game which constitutes our reality. Conceivably, this could happen any number of times, affecting any number of people, as alternative variables were reprogrammed. We would have to live out each reprogramming along the subsequent linear time axis, but to the programmer, whom we call God, to him the results of the programming would be apparent at once. We are within time, and he is not. We are living in a computer-programmed reality, and the only clue we have to it is when some variable is changed and some alteration in our reality occurs.
He believed that every time reality shifts, a new lateral world is generated, and with each shift, the guiding intelligence, the programmer, achieves a kind of victory. Each new version of reality isn't perfect, but it's slightly better than the one before it. In his view, the universe is constantly being refined, stage by stage, through this process. The way he described it, the old universe doesn't disappear. It becomes raw material, a kind of stockpile that is used to build the new one. What looks like chaos or broken fragments in one timeline might actually be the foundation for the next. This means reality isn't moving toward collapse, but toward improvement. Even if we can't always see how, the process keeps pushing forward, generating alternate worlds one after another, each infused with a little more order and structure than the last.
What we need at this point is to locate, to bring forth as evidence, someone who has managed somehow, it doesn't matter how, to retain memories of a different present, latent alternate world impressions, different in some significant way from this, the one which is at this stage actualized. According to my theoretical view, it would almost certainly be memories of a worse world than this. For it is not reasonable that God the programmer and reprogrammer would substitute a worse world in terms of freedom or beauty or love or order or healthiness by any standard which we know.
If what Philip K. Dick was describing is true, that reality can shift sideways, that alternate versions of the world appear again and again, then maybe we've already seen signs of it without realizing. One of the clearest examples is what we now call the Mandela effect. Millions of people around the world share the same memory of something that doesn't match today's official version of events. The name itself comes from people remembering that Nelson Mandela died in prison during the 1980s. They remember news reports, public reactions, even school lessons about his death. Yet, in this timeline, Mandela was released and later became president of South Africa, living until 2013. For those who have the older memory, it feels as though history was rewritten. And it doesn't stop there. People remember the Berenstain Bears spelled as Berenstein, with an E. They remember the Monopoly Man having a monocle, when in fact, he never did. They recall the movie line, "Luke, I am your father," when the actual line is,
"No, I am your father."
These these aren't just a handful of mistakes. They're shared, consistent memories across millions of people, as if we really had lived in a slightly different version of reality. Philip K. Dick's theory offers one possible explanation. If variables can be changed, if a programmer can shift us laterally from one track to another, then déjà vu, false memories, or the Mandela effect might not be errors at all. They could be traces of previous presents, fragments of timelines we once occupied but no longer do. This is where things get even stranger, because it's not just personal memories. Pop culture itself sometimes seems to reveal knowledge of events long before they happen. One of the most famous examples is The Simpsons. For more than 3 decades, the animated show has been making jokes that later turn out to mirror real-world events with uncanny accuracy. Years before smartwatches were invented, The Simpsons showed characters using wrist devices to make phone calls. They joked about a defective autocorrect feature on a handheld device, long before smartphones made that frustration a daily reality. They even portrayed Disney eventually buying 20th Century Fox, a merger that seemed absurd at the time but became reality in 2019. In another episode, they showed a skyscraper with a design almost identical to London's Shard, drawn over a decade before construction even began. They sketched a Nobel Prize prediction board that matched the actual Nobel winner announced years later. And in one storyline, they featured a 3-eyed fish living near a power plant, which was followed years later by news photos of a 3-eyed fish discovered in Argentina, living by water contaminated from a nuclear facility. At some point, the list becomes too long to ignore. These aren't just vague jokes that can be stretched to fit events. They're oddly specific details, many of them tied to technology, science, or cultural shifts that hadn't happened yet. Some people laugh it off as coincidence. Others wonder if the writers had hidden knowledge. And some even go further, suggesting, half joking but half serious, that the show's creator might have glimpsed the future, or somehow tapped into the same overlapping layers of reality Philip K. Dick described back in 1977. When you place these examples next to his words, the similarities are hard to miss. He spoke of multiple versions of the world stacked like film transparencies, with one becoming actualized over another. Whether through shared memories, déjà vu, or a cartoon that seems to predict events years ahead of time, the effect is the same. We're left questioning whether reality is as fixed as we assume. And once you notice it, you start to wonder, are these just coincidences? Or are they clues that we are already slipping sideways, moving through alternate timelines without even realizing it?
Ooh, so what do y'all think, man? I have so many instances where I know that something has changed in my timeline. I'm one of those people, like, deja vu is definitely real for me, man. Like, it happens on the regular. I think somebody's panicking trying to get out this joint while trying to upload us into their version of reality so they can control us and use us for energy. But something's coming soon, y'all. I can feel it. Let me know if y'all feeling those vibes too as well. There's about to be big changes in the next few months. I'm not saying that there will be beans getting off ships pretty soon. I'm not saying that they are, but it's definitely in the realms of possibility. What I realize about traveling, becoming an adult, seeing different things that most people never get a chance to see and experience is I do understand why people don't look at and understand different types of information that might seem uncomfortable for them. I get it. But at the same time, we all need to start getting up, traveling, experiencing different things so it can open up your mind to the possibilities of this world that we live in. Most people will sit here and argue you up and down that the world is round when they've never been on an airplane before. They've never been out of their city. They've never been anywhere or did anything pertaining to anything that has anything to do with the shape of the earth in order to give them a hint of anything. That's because you're programmed to fight against things that You feel, but you know it's in a possibility. It's like some reverse psychology type shit. They know it's a possibility of being different, but they're so uncomfortable with that they would rather keep you here in fear with them instead of exposing the truth of certain things. But I'm not saying everything in these videos is true, but I'm saying a lot of this stuff is very real. But look, man, let me know if y'all got anything from this video. It's a good vibe. I think that timelines has definitely changed over and over. Like I said, somebody's hitting that panic button trying to get out this joint, and we know who they are. They're trying to go to Mars, trying to upload consciousness into machines and stuff, because that's the way out for them to be in control of whatever they got going on. But I'll tell y'all this, I'm not going. Y'all can go with them. I'm gonna be right back here. But look, make sure y'all got those notifications on. Smash that like button. I see you on the next video. Like I always say, spread love, because there's too much hate in this world. I love you guys. I see you on the next video, and I'm out though. Bye.